Oh dear. Okay. All right. So I'm doing something new here. I am going to take this image of succulents and I'm going to do a little drawing on this in order to show you how you might abstract something recognizable. And by abstract, I mean, I'm going to reduce it to basic shapes. Okay. So this is something you can do on your own. Like you could get imagery and just trace over it. I know teachers often say, don't trace, don't copy, but by tracing, you're becoming aware of the forms, the shapes, the composition, right? And it's relaxing. So I could do this whole thing here. So I'm looking at the shapes. I'm also attuning my eye to the textures I'm seeing. So I've got some of these spiky dudes here, these, I guess, agaves. I've got this, really should just be outlining, but here's this grassy stuff. So I'm making note of this, mental note. Okay, I've got spiky, I've got grassy, and then I've got, this looks kind of like fan coral back here. Okay, and then I've got these lighter, whatever this is, dotty dot stuff, and I've got a rock and this. Okay, so I am going to free form, which means I'm kind of logging this in my brain right now. I've got that texture there. I've got this spiky leaf thing. I've got thin grass. I've got dot, 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 fan coral. Okay, so I've made note of all of that. Then I'm going to come back. Let's see. Stop share. Not supposed to have you guys on the recording. Sorry about that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've looked at those succulents and I'm just using a piece of paper here with this vibrant wash, fluorescent wash. I'm going to go a little bit wild. And I want to draw, I'm just going to freehand make up some of those shapes that I saw. If I had more time, I'd probably focus on whatchamacall, my composition a little bit more. Okay, so here's my agave thing. Maybe this is my rock over here. I've got that plant that looked like fan coral, okay? And I'm doing this with a charcoal pencil, and I'll turn it around in a minute. I have to do it so that I can tell what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna do, for right now, I'll do that much. Okay, so this is sort of what I got, and I'm gonna try and keep it flat, and now I'm gonna bring in different colors. And here's some of the colors that I'm picking, kind of earthier, which will be a contrast to that wild background. And my goal will be leave some of that wild background showing through. I think optically it's going to be pretty nifty. So you put down maybe 3 of those colors and then go from there. And I just picked these spontaneously today. If you want to give it more thought, you can. I'm just sort of intuitively grabbing, and again, the word play, seeing what I get. Let's see what I get. I may not like the whole thing, but I'll get information. And then if I really like something, I could do a couple more, leave certain colors out, add certain colors in. These are all these new Charvan paints that I got that I really like. Okay, I think I got enough there. What do you think? I think so. Okay. So the thing to pay attention to right now is not so much like, oh, that looks so great. Watch. It's more about the process of putting down the paint in kind of a spontaneous manner, like the phobes. Okay, so I'm going to start with this yellow ochre. I have to turn it back around. Okay, so I had these little succulents that I looked at that seem to have this sort of a pattern. I don't know what you call that. So I'm mimicking that pattern that I observed. Real loose, just thinking about the pattern, not thinking about shadow or like I got to get that succulent looking just exactly like I saw it. Okay, then I've got this agave thing here. I think I'm going to go with this gray. I think that gray would be really interesting on that pink, and I'm going to use a bigger, broader brush. Let's see. With that, and I think I'm going to go thicker paint. I think patchwork. You know, and then the other thing is to kind of listen to the voice in your head. So my brush accidentally dipped into that green paint, but I kind of like that combination with the gray. So now I'm going to put that in over here. Still allowing some of that pink to show through. Then I have those succulents that they're kind of like little elongated dots. Okay, then I had that, whatever was like that, wasn't a succulent, it was some sort of a grass. So I'm just going to use a dry brush. So I'm looking for color interaction, different textures. Let's see. So I'm still leaving the pink underpainting showing through. You could call it a reserve line, or we could just call it the underpainting. but I'm letting it show through. I'm not covering it up. It's part of my painting. And for expediency's sake, I'm just filling in some of these areas now, just so you get kind of the big picture. Okay, so with that. Struggling to open my paint tube here. Okay. So this is dry brush, and I'm going kind of quickly, kind of brushy, because I want that pink underpainting to show through. This is more about capturing a feeling, which the phobes were trying to do. I'm going to see if I can get things to pop even more. Okay, so now I'm going to put sort of a reddish orange down in here. So having multiple colors interacting. So now it's not even about the succulents anymore. I'm just trying to get different color combinations going. Not just stopping at one color in this area, but putting several and keep going until I feel like feels about right or looks complete. I can even come back in with my charcoal pencil and add some lines in there to do a little drawing into the painting. And I could just keep going with this, but I think you get the basic idea. So I've got clumps, I've got shapes, they're flat, I've got pattern, I've got texture, color interacting with color. And I'm going to stop myself, even though I could just keep going. So there we go.